Shalom, my friends. Today, you are joining me today in my vehicle because it's a little bit early and I wanted to go ahead and get this video out, and everybody's sort of sleeping still, so that's why I'm in my truck. I'm so glad to be here today with you again, and we are almost finished with discovering the flat earth through creation. So I'm only going to go through day 1 through 4, and we are on day 3. Today is day 3, and it is all about the earth, vegetation, plants, everything that has its seed in itself and produces more and procreates and has that seed in itself. Let's go ahead and finish off day 3 of discovering the flat earth that Yahuwah has created through the word, which is his Bane, Yahushua, our Messiah. So we're going to go ahead and begin in chapter 1. First page of the book, he explains to us exactly what type of earth we are living in and how he created all of these things and how a lot of it functions. So here we go. Chapter 1, verse 9. And Elohim said, "Let the waters under the Shamayim be gathered together into one place, and let the dry land appear." And it came to be so. And Elohim called the dry land earth, and the collection of the waters he called seas. And Elohim saw that it was good. And Elohim said, "Let the earth bring forth grass, the plant that yields seed, and the fruit tree that yields fruit, according to its kind, whose seed is in itself on the earth." And it came to be so. And the earth brought forth grass, the plant that yields seed according to its kind, and the tree that yields fruit, whose seed is in itself according to its kind. And Elohim saw that it was good. And there came to be evening, and there came to be morning the third day. So as we see here, Elohim called the dry land earth. Now that word called is chamar. It means to say, to speak. He uttered and he intended. So he intended that the dry land be called earth. Now there's a difference between earth and when we say the earth and when we say the world. The world is more of the collection of humanity within the earth, and the earth is more of the earth itself, the dust, the ground, the mountains, the seas, everything that we see that is on the earth. Now, that word, to be gathered, it means to be collected together, to gather together. So he called the waters to be gathered together under the Shamayim. Remember in day 2, we talked about he separated the waters from above the Shamayim, the Rakia, right? From below the Shamayim. So the greater waters which are above are separated from the lesser waters which are in this earth, which are below the Shamayim. And he gathered all those waters into one place. And then he said, let the land appear. So he collected and bound together the waters. When we get into day 4, we're going to learn exactly the truth about the heavenly bodies and that they are not millions of miles away. But I can't wait to get into day 4. But right now we see that the waters are not controlled by the moon, as so-called false science likes to say it is. The moon has nothing to do with controlling the waves of the ocean. Now, you would only need that on a round earth, right? Because we know that waters cannot stick to round objects. They cannot, no matter how much math or multiplication or division or anything, no matter what you do, you cannot cause waters to be anything but flat and level. So those waters were gathered together by Yahuwah on the third day when he said, let the waters all be gathered, because they were upon the entire earth. It was all water. And then he separated those waters from the firmament, the rakia, and he called that separation Shamayim. And then he called the Mayim. The Mayim are the waters. He called the waters together to be bound together. So his word bound together the waters under the Shamayim. He said, let them all come to be bound together, gathered together, underneath, under the part, beneath, on the flat place in which one stands. So he caused it to stand in its place. His word, which his law is his word. So his word or his law, and he says this in Eyob as well. Well, I'm going to read that. Come together, be stood together, be gathered together into one place. And then he says, let the earth racha, which means be visible, to appear. So the earth, the land was already there underneath the waters. But then when he gathered the waters together to stand into one place, he said, okay, let the earth, the dry land, be visible. Let it appear. Let it be seen. Rach, ra'ach, rachach, rachach. Okay? So he called out. He karach. He called out. He recited. He cried out. He proclaimed. He uttered a loud sound. He said, let Erets, the land, the earth, the land of the living, appear. The Erets. Erets is earth. And he said, let the Erets be seen. Let it be visible. Let the land of the living come to be. Because we can't live in the water. We have to live on the land, because that is how he created us. And he said, let it come to be seen. Let it be visible. Let it appear. And it came to be so. It came to be so. It happened as he said. He proclaimed it with a loud voice. He proclaimed it. Let it be seen. Let it be visible. Let it come to be. And it came to be so. And Elohim called the dry land Erets, or earth. He called it earth. And the collection of waters he called seas, or Mayim, the waters. Okay? So he called them seas. And Elohim saw that it was good. Now what does that mean? Well, he ra'ach. He looked at it. He inspected it. He perceived, considered, and discerned that it was tov. It was tov, which means it was good. It was pleasant. It was agreeable and appropriate. He saw that it was rich and valuable in estimation, that it was excellent, and that it would benefit man. He saw that it was tov. taub. He saw that it was good, pleasant, rich, and valuable in estimation. And he said that it was good. It was pleasant. Okay? And Elohim said, let the earth daosha, sprout, shoot, grow green. He caused the green, the herbage, to spring and shoot forth. Let the earth, the Erets, bring forth thou shalt. Let the earth, thou shalt, the desha. Desha meaning grass, new grass, green herb, and vegetation. So he said, let it spring forth, the earth bring forth grass, the plant that yields seed, and the fruit tree that yields fruit according to its kind, whose seed is in itself. Now, who else has seed in itself? We do, right? Women carry their seed, and men carry they also carry seed, right? That which is able to fertilize and be able to bring forth life. I find that very, very cool, very interesting, that we are beings who have seed in ourselves. We can reproduce, we can procreate. And this was one of the intentions that Yah gave to us. He intended for us to procreate, to develop, to fill and multiply on the earth. And Elohim seeing that it was good. And the plant that yields seed, and the fruit tree that yields fruit according to its kind, whose seed is in itself on the earth. And it came to be so. It happened exactly as he said. And the earth brought forth grass, right? What is that? Grass, desha. Grass, desha. Grass, new grass, green herbs, and vegetations. It's dasha, the desha, the desha, dasha, daosha, sprouted. I'm new to all of this too, so I am may be murdering these words as I try to pronounce them, but that's okay, I'm trying. So the herb, the eseb. Eseb is the herb, herbage, grass, and green plants. So the plant that yields seed, the earth brought forth the grass, the plant that yields seed according to its kind, and the tree that yields fruit, whose seed is in itself according to its kind. What does that mean? The zara. Zara means to sow, scatter seed, yielding seed, and to be made pregnant. So that yielding seed, that sowing, that zera, which is sowing an offspring. So the earth brought forth the grass, the plant that yields seed according to its kind, and the tree that yields fruit, whose seed is in itself according to its kind. And Elohim saw that it was what? Good, pleasant, rich, appropriate. It was agreeable. It was valuable in estimation, that it was beneficial, and that it was excellent. Wow. And Elohim saw that it was good. And there came to be evening, and there came to be morning. Now, like I said, I don't really like the word mourning, because we all know what the word mourning means. It means that you cry when someone dies. So I like to use rising. But another meaning for that word morning is boker. Boker means morning, or it also means break of day, the end of night, coming of daylight, and beginning of day. I like those a lot better. And so let's also look at this word the plant that you'll seed according to its kind. Okay, according to its kind, meaning mean, which is kind, species of the original gene pool, or further partitioning of the original gene pool. So there are fruits and produce and all different types of herbage that is produced through the seed of the original gene pool. And then there's also cross-pollination that occurs, and that can also bring new types of species. Now, where you don't want to get into is things like GMOs. That is against nature. Gene splicing, that is against nature. Creating different things in a lab and then growing it, that is playing God, trying to play God, trying to take matters into your own hands and do things that are against nature. I'm against that. So, but in nature, there is cross-pollination. There are different types of broccoli. There are different types of tomatoes. There are different types of strawberries. Everything has several types of different, but they are all coming from the original gene pool, and they are partitioners of the original gene pool. So Yah is like that. He is a creator, and he creates. He has a huge imagination and very unsearchable, creation, and just so intricate in his designs. As you can see in nature, there are so many different types of birds, so many different types of animals, so many different shapes and sizes and looks and colors. And that is who we serve. We don't serve a boring Elohim. He is very creative and very beautiful in his imagination. And he also gave that to us so that we could be creative and imaginative and be able to create things as well. So we have been given his image, and we are like him too. So it came to be morning and evening, and there came to be, and it was the third day, which is Shelishi. Shelishi is third. 1/3, a third part, or third time. So this was the third day. He called the oceans, the seas, to be gathered into one place. So his law, his word, locks those waters into place and says, you shall not move. Because it's going to be very, very powerful. I want you to join me in the fourth day, because we're going to learn all about the heavenly bodies. The truth of the matter is very visible to us. And once we are able to take it in and see, our scales will fall from our eyes, and we will be able to see we've been lied to. They were lying. The heavenly bodies are within our Shamayim, and the waters are not controlled by the moon. His word, his law controls the moon, controls the waters, and has commanded the waters to be stood and gathered into one place. And then he called the dry land. He said, let it appear. And then he said, let the earth bring forth grass, and the plants that yield seed, and the fruit tree that yields fruit according to its kind, and everything that has seed in itself on the earth, let it come to be. And then what happened? Boom! Grass started growing. Plants started sprouting up and shooting up out of the earth. And the trees and everything that has its seed in itself. And I love the way that our bodies and the way that we function were made to reflect nature and everything that happens in nature. That's why it's so dangerous when we go against nature and when we try to destroy ourselves by not identifying with who we were made to be and trying to induce some type of change, and it's just not natural, and it's dangerous to go against nature. It's beautiful to go with nature because we can learn a lot from nature. Nothing in nature goes against nature, and we should take our lessons from nature every day. Animals stretch when they first get up, right? My dogs always, the first thing they do in the rising is they see me get up, and they get all excited and they start stretching. Well, we should be following their example. It's good to stretch every single day to get everything warmed up and stretched out, and get ready to have movement and go through our day like that. So we need to look at nature and take our lessons from nature and appreciate nature for what it is, because it is a teacher and it is a nurturer for our benefit. And so everything, that he made was good and pleasant, rich, and valuable in estimation, and it benefits us. And I have really been, thinking about actually going off of meat and switching over to just vegetation. We as a family have cut out a lot. So I don't eat ground anything anymore. It freaks me out. I don't like ground beef anymore, ground turkey, ground anything, because it's just weird. And it took me a while to get to this place because I was a big meat eater, but now I don't eat very much meat. If I eat meat, I try to get very good sourced meat, grass-fed. It can be expensive, and sometimes I wonder, is it really worth it anymore? Is it really worth it to eat meat? Because it's just, unless you are raising your own meat or you have a really good source of meat, obviously you should not be eating pork or any type of shellfish or anything that doesn't have fins or scales, because there are bugs and insects on the earth, and there are bugs and insects in the sea. And shellfish, shrimp, these are pretty much garbage disposals, and they clean the waters. Clams, oysters, they clean the waters. They are not to be eaten, and that's why he tells us don't eat those things. Another one is pork. It has so many different tapeworms and parasites in it. It is not healthy to eat, and if you really think about it, it's actually pretty disgusting. They are garbage disposals for the earth. They take what should not be eaten or what needs to be composted. They eat it, and then they dispose of it, and then that composts down. But we should not be. You wouldn't jump into a garbage truck or a garbage can and eat anything in there, would you? I don't think you would. So we need to take care of our bodies and obey. When we obey, we won't suffer consequences of, disobedience. So I, for myself, feel better when I don't eat meat. I'm really not trying to eat chicken either. I'm really on the verge of just going all vegetation. But I do like a steak here and there, so I think I will continue to do that as long as it's a very purely sourced and grass-fed steak. But as far as chickens go, they eat dead things. They are really dead. They are really meat eaters. They really are meat eaters. They will eat mice. They will eat rodents and anything that's around. Even if it's dead, they'll eat it. And then you turn around and you eat the chicken, and you're eating whatever is they ate. So when I started realizing that, I'm like, I don't like that either. I do like eggs, so I will eat eggs still. But Yah's just been really working on me to change the way that I see food and the way that I eat so that I can be healthy and strong. And nowadays, our food is so poisoned, and everything is just so modified. You really wonder, are you really even eating what you think you're eating? Even with the glue meats that are around, I don't know if you've seen that or not, but they are gluing meats together, pieces that are left over from the butchering. They're gluing those pieces together, and you think you're getting a good flank of meat, and really it has glue in it, and you can't even tell the difference once it's cooked or anything like that. So that's pretty gross. So I'm really just like, I try not to buy any meat without it being on a bone. So it's just like with more truth and more awakening, I try to conform my life to those truths and to those awakenings, because what good is truth if it doesn't change you? It's just another, it's almost like a scroll. You just continue to scroll, oh, that's cool. And you scroll on through, not caring what you're learning, not caring what is actually going on around you. And if you don't take precautions nowadays, you will get sick and you will not be as healthy as you need to be. And so I know for myself and for my family, I tried to bring in the best types of food and vegetations. We're big on fruits and vegetables. So it's just a journey, and everybody's on their own segment of that journey. But as for me and my household, we do obey the commandments that Yahuwah told us what to eat, what not to eat. And, as society changes and as this world grows deeper and darker into wickedness, we can easily look around us and see that the foods that we are being sold in the grocery markets and the stores are not healthy and not beneficial for us. So it's best for us to get back into nature and to get back into Erets, into the earth, and to learn the ways of the earth, and to not go against nature, to not be contrary to it, but to be obedient and to learn from Mother Nature, because she is our mother. She does nurture us and she does feed us, and if you take care of her, she will take care of you. If you tend the ground, she will produce. And it is wonderful skills and great knowledge to be able to acquire. And I really appreciate everything that Yah has given to us through nature. And I try to manage nature as, around me as much as possible. Pick up the trash around me and keep it clean. And don't pour harmful substances on the ground. Don't use harsh chemicals or anything like that that's going to hurt her even further than what she's already being polluted with from the skies and the waters. So it's all a journey, and we just ask Yah for wisdom in everything that we do. We try not to, be extreme in anything, but the truth is extreme, so sometimes, the change has to be extreme. So I'm so thankful that you joined me today in discovering Flat Earth through creation story. This is something, Flat Earth and creation is not something you're going to get too much of anywhere else, because they always seem to skip day 2. They never really go into depth about day 2, because you can't really explain away the firmament. You can't explain away the fact that there are waters above us as there are waters below us. And so He controls the oceans and the seas. His word has told the oceans and the seas, here you stop, your proud waves stop, and you shall go no further. And so that was day 3, where the seas were gathered together in one place, the dry land was made to appear, and the herbs and the grass and the trees and everything that has seed in itself was made to sprout and to come. And it was so good and pleasant and beneficial for us. And he saw that it was good, and that marks day 3. Thank you so much for joining me. I am really excited to get day 4 in so that we can learn about the heavenly bodies. Yah Baruch you in yours today.